Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Nike Cosmic Unity 2. So this shoe is going for 160 bucks. This colorway is available, and there are, I think there's a red colorway available as well on Nike.com. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but let's get it started off with the Tracciones. And as far as the traction pattern goes, it's a very interesting traction pattern. It looks like a psychedelic traction pattern or something like that, right? So how does the traction perform? So at first it was all right. It was squeaking a little bit and the bite wasn't terrible, but also wasn't great. But I needed to break it in. But once I broke it in for like a day or two, not even that long, it got really good. It also started to get pretty squeaky, right? It's not super squeaky, but there is a pretty nice loud squeak, and the bite is amazing now, right? It's actually almost top tier. I wouldn't say it's amazing like the PG6 or the Curry 9, but it's almost there. Really solid bite. And also on dust, it does pick up a little bit of dust, but it's a very easy wipe. So if it does pick up dust, you just go boom and you're good to go. You don't really have to worry about dust at all. So performance on a clean court is absolutely amazing, and performance on dust is also really good. I didn't really have any huge issues with that. It is kind of like a decoupled design just a tiny bit, because there is no rubber here in the middle of the outsole, right? Like here in the midfoot area, this is just foam, and then the forefoot and heel are separated, which is a pretty interesting design. Also, as you guys can see, we have a plastic midfoot shank plate right here. Also for durability, it seems like it's gonna be pretty good. I mean, the grooves are pretty thick and the rubber is kind of hard. I mean, when I do press it with my fingers, it does move a little bit. So it's probably not the best option, especially since it is a pretty expensive shoe coming in at 160 bucks. But I don't think it would be like a terrible choice for an outdoor court. So traction performance was absolutely amazing. I really loved playing in the shoe because of that, but just remember, you do need to break it in just a tiny bit, but once you do, it gets really good. All right, moving on to the heel to toe transition. Is very smooth, right? So here in the heel, we have a nice curved shape, and although it is kind of caged here in the back of the heel, right, the rubber also does come up to cage the midsole a little bit. It's not super clunky or anything, right? It's actually still pretty soft. And then here in the forefoot, we have a nice curved shape. Well, I mean, it's a little bit flatter than normally what I like, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't slapping like crazy either, so I didn't really mind that all too much. And also, there's really nice forefoot flex, right? So because of this, I didn't really mind the flatter shape. So overall, heel to toe transition, when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, it's overall very smooth, and that full length zoom strobel unit definitely does help, right? So moving on to the cushioning setup, it feels very similar to pretty much every single shoe that has full length zoom strobel, right? So like the KD14, KD15, although this foam is a little bit on the firmer side, it's a little bit more responsive, right? As far as like, as opposed to the Cushlon in the KD14 and KD15, but it's not that big of a difference, right? So there is a little bit of compression from this actual midsole here in the heel, but the thing that you're gonna feel the most, of course, is the full length zoom strobel unit right underneath your foot. One thing that I do like about the shoe though is the insole. So the insole is like a foam, it's a softer foam insole, which usually Nike, they kind of switch it off, you know what I mean? Like they sometimes give us like a very, it kind of reminds me of styrofoam, right? That's found in like the KD15, I think. It's like a styrofoam insole, which I don't like as much, but here in the Cosmic Unity 2, there's actually like a softer foam insole, which I like. And of course, as always, it's bouncy right underneath your foot, great stepping comfort. It's a lot of compression. So yeah, if you love full length zoom strobel, you're gonna love this cushioning setup. As far as the court feel goes, court feel overall is good. I wouldn't say it's really good comparing it to, like, you know, shoes that have really good court feel like the Harding Volume 6 or the Two-Way 2 or the PG6, but it's still pretty damn good. You still get pretty good court feel, but of course, you're gonna get very good impact protection because of that zoom strobel unit in the forefoot, in the heel, on hard impacts, all of that, you're gonna be good to go. And the extra bounce that you get, of course, is always nice, but sometimes it's a little too much for me personally. But of course, like I said, if you love zoom strobel, you're gonna, of course, love this cushioning setup. All right, moving on to the materials. Materials, I feel like, is amazing, right? So at first, when you first get it, it's a little stiff, right? But now that it's broken in, it's actually very soft, and it's like a super comfortable but also very supportive knit material, you know what I mean? So it doesn't feel cheap at all. It feels very nice on foot. There is a little bit of fuse here on the like the lateral side, right? And also on the medial side as well for extra durability, but I wish there was a little bit here for toe drags, but that's not a huge deal. Overall, I mean, it's not super thin, but also it's not super thick and bulky, right? I would say it's like pretty good for me. I didn't really mind it all too much as far as the thickness goes, although I do kind of prefer thinner materials. It wasn't that bad here. Also, you can see the extra stitching as well going around kind of like the toe box and also here into the midfoot on the lateral and medial side of the shoe for extra support. It's a great material and doesn't feel glued down at all, and it breaks in really nicely. And then for the tongue has very nice padding as well. It's not super plush and super thick, but there is nice padding which feels great. It's an oversized tongue and you have a lot of ventilation holes. And then here in the ankle area, I would actually say more on the sides of the ankle, there's not a whole lot of padding, but here in the back where your Achilles is, there's a lot more padding. So overall, it's a really nice material, not super minimal, but also not very bulky, but it makes up for it in comfort and also support. There's absolutely zero stretch to this material. So, and the quality is absolutely amazing, especially for 160 bucks. You know, the KD15 has like a mesh material for 150 bucks, which isn't that nice. This textile, or this kind of like knit textile material, is awesome, right? All right, moving on to the fit. I went true to size and it fits me extremely well. So my toes go pretty much right to the edge of the shoe. So for most people, I would suggest going true to size. However, it is a very snug fit, right? So here in the toe box, I can barely curl my toes up. So if you don't like that, probably go up half a size. But I do like a very snug fit in the toe box. And also here for width, it is slightly narrow. So yeah, perfect fit for me. And if you like a nice snug fit, then you should probably go true to size. If you want a roomier fit in the toe box or you have a wide foot, probably go up half a size or maybe even a full size because it is a very snug fit. And also this like textile or knit material didn't really stretch out all too much while I played in it and broke it in, right? As opposed to, you know, like meshes. Meshes usually stretch out a little bit more once I play in it. This one, not so much because it is like a thicker, more plush type of knit, right? Alright, as far as the support and lockdown goes, also I had zero issues, right? So for lateral containment, as you guys can see, the foam does come up to act as a sidewall here in the forefoot, and also there is a little bit of fuse, and like I keep saying, this material overall is more on the supported side of things, so I didn't really have any issues here in the forefoot. Here in the midfoot, we have the swoosh coming up to act as a sidewall, right? Both in the front and the back, and here in the heel, we have like the foam. I really like this design, right? There's a hole here in the back of the heel too. And that kind of wraps around the heel for more support in the heel, and also it feels like there is an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I had zero issues, and also I feel like even if you're a bigger guy and you're doing very shifty moves, lateral movements like crazy, you're gonna be good to go with lateral containment in the Cosmic Unity 2. Also for lateral stability, I had zero issues, right? We have a nice wide base and I'm low to the ground, especially here in the forefoot, so lateral stability was good as well. I guess this is more like a kind of like a mid top. It's like a low mid, you know, it covers the ankle bone just a tiny bit, but it doesn't really give you any type of ankle support, so don't expect anything as far as ankle support goes. But lateral containment, lateral stability, and also this shoe has very good heel containment. I had no issues with that either, so it felt great. My foot felt really locked down into the shoe. Moving on to the weight of the shoe, if I remember correctly, it's like maybe a little bit lighter than average, right? Yeah, 12.06 ounces. Let's check the other pair, 12.2 ounces. So yeah, it's a little bit lighter than average. The average weight of my shoes is around 12.5 ounces. So yeah, I mean, this shoe feels pretty damn light on foot. Not super minimal if you're gonna compare it to shoes that are very minimal, like the Giannis Immortality or the PG6 or the Curry 9, but it still feels nice on foot. And it also feels very, very responsive just because the traction is so good. It fit me well, support was great, and I felt really quick when I was playing in it. And I really had no issues with feeling sluggish or anything while I was playing in the shoe. Although sometimes, you know, if I want a really responsive cushioning setup, I usually don't go for full-length Zoom Strobel. You know, I would want something a little bit more responsive, but full-length Zoom Strobel isn't super sluggish either. So yeah, overall, I felt really quick playing in the shoe. All right, as far as the ventilation goes, nope. Although there are a lot of ventilation holes here in the tongue, this material is quite thick and doesn't allow for a lot of airflow. So overall, your foot is gonna be a little bit more on the warmer side of things. And moving on to the aesthetics, I absolutely love it. It grew on me a lot, but I think it's because of this colorway. This colorway is absolutely amazing. This like off-white color, and it's a monotone color for the entire shoe, which I like, and the swoosh is a black color. But I feel like the colorway is amazing. The overall silhouette looks pretty good, but I don't really like the other colorways, like the red colorway that came out. It's just you know. So I'm a little indifferent as far as the overall silhouette goes, but I love this colorway. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, holy crap guys, the Cosmic Unity 2 is absolutely amazing, and it is a top tier performer. And I would even say it kind of like goes against the KD15 a little bit, you know what I mean? That's how good these are. So yeah, I had zero issues with it, and I really wouldn't change anything about this shoe. It's absolutely amazing. You get great quality materials, especially for the price. Zoom strobel unit, full length is amazing. Traction is great, support's great, even if you're a bigger guy. So even like whatever position you play and whatever play style you have, I feel like most people will enjoy this shoe as I did, and it's definitely going to be in my rotation heavily. So anyways, the Cosmic Unity 2 is Sole Brothers approved, and I do recommend it to you guys heavily. So again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll try to leave an affiliate link in the description box, but that about concludes this review. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.